Have you ever thought about the possibility that your thoughts and mental state are affecting your physical health? Recent research shows that the mind and body are interconnected, and one can affect the other in surprising ways. Our physical and mental states are often thought of as separate entities, but in reality, they are deeply interconnected. The human body is a manifestation of the mind in physical form, and every mental state has an impact on the body. Although it may be difficult to believe that our thoughts and emotions can lead to physical illness, there is growing evidence to support this notion. In this video, we explore the relationship between mind and body and the impact of mental states on physical health. Man lives within his awareness, not in the surrounding world. He is unaware that he has encountered an impediment until the message is transmitted to his consciousness via his nerves. Man's suffering occurs within his consciousness as a result of sensations reported by his nerves. To fully comprehend the notion that mental states can produce physical effects through the body, we must first grasp the genuine connection between the mind and body. This essential truth must be acknowledged to achieve mental and spiritual healing. The body is created and molded by the mind, making it a product of mental activity that can be altered by the mind. Observable alterations in physical appearance may occur as a consequence of changes in mental states. For quite some time, it has been recognized that psychological turmoil, which evolves gradually, can cause physical conditions such as stomach ulcers, asthma, skin disorders, and heart ailments. Negative emotional states are believed to impede the production of red blood cells, resulting in anemia. Furthermore, a significant proportion of digestive issues, labeled as nervous indigestion, are, in fact, emotional in origin. The question posed is whether altering one's mental state can rectify physical conditions. According to scientists, there have been instances where appropriate mental treatments have led to the cure of certain conditions. Additionally, there are assertions that mental states can be the root cause of ailments such as sinusitis, nasal polyposis, colitis, and nervous disorders. Negative thinking can stimulate the autonomic nervous system to activate an excessive production of aqueous fluids in our tissues and membranes. While surgeries, medications, and dietary modifications can help expel these extra liquids from our bodies, there is no true cure until we learn how to modify our mindset into one that is reliable. What accounts for the mind's ability to affect physical states to the extent that it can lead to illness? One reason is that the human being thinks not only with their brain, but with their entire body. Every single cell, no matter how minuscule, represents an infinitesimal spark of the mind. Additionally, there is no point in the entire universe that is not inhabited by the mind, meaning that there is no atom in the human body that is ever detached from mental activity. People have become accustomed to seeing themselves as existing on two separate planes, the physical and the mental. It can be difficult for us to grasp the idea of being both at the same time. However, these two planes are actually one and the same. The body is simply a manifestation of the mind in physical form, just as the spirit is condensed into form. It is impossible to separate mental activity from physical manifestation, as the two are inextricably linked. This is because physical manifestation is essentially a reflection of mental manifestation. In other words, what the mind thinks, the body ultimately becomes. Every mental condition has an impact on the body, and a shift in the mind is always accompanied by a corresponding change in the body. This change is a direct reflection of the altered thinking that has taken place. Disease is essentially a distorted idea that has taken root and gained dominance. While it is not entirely accurate to say that disease is caused by the mind, the distorted form of the disease is indeed a product of mental processes that have become visible. Thus, the problem lies primarily in thought, and so too does the solution. Since the disease itself is rooted in the mind, its management and control must also be approached from a mental perspective. The body does not possess the inherent ability to generate disease on its own. Rather, disease is merely a shadow that is cast by the mind. Conversely, a healthy mind will project a healthy body. Each and every cell that the body produces is essentially a thought that has taken on physical form and is imbued with either negative or positive energy. In effect, the cells themselves are the manifestation of the thoughts that have given rise to them. The thoughts that we harbor with respect to our health have a direct impact on the cells in our body. Positive, health-oriented thoughts will produce healthy cells, while negative thoughts will manifest as sickness and disease. It is essential that we fully embrace this truth if we hope to cultivate a state of optimal health within our bodies. If we consider the fact that cells in the body are created at a remarkable speed, it becomes apparent that they are essentially thoughts that have taken on physical form. For instance, red blood cells are generated and disappear at a rate of 150,000 per second. When we extend this example to other tissues and organs in the body, we begin to appreciate the dynamic nature of the human form, which is essentially a constantly evolving manifestation of thought energy shaped by the mind. It is often said that to gain mastery over a particular condition, we must first gain control over our thoughts. In order to effect a change in our physical state, we must first change our thought patterns. As such, we are constantly searching for techniques that will help us alter the flow of our consciousness. This technique cannot be reduced to mere willpower, concentration, or the repetition of positive affirmations. Rather, it involves consciously aligning ourselves with the universal intelligence, which is never tainted by thoughts of disease. There exists a precise technique that can guide us towards this unification. Disease is an external manifestation of an internal disturbance, while health is an external indication of a harmonious mind. Essentially, everything that transpires in our lives is a result of our intense thoughts, and it is incorrect to believe that a higher power would inflict illness upon us. The universal mind operates in a completely neutral manner, devoid of any personal aspirations. It is exhibited through an impersonal law that is activated by our intense and unequivocal desires, regardless of whether they are articulated or not, as long as they are potent enough to become the prevalent force. The spirit is a personal entity, while the law is completely impersonal. This law, akin to the law of electricity, is known as the law of thought. Similar to electricity, it lacks emotions and operates solely based on its established principles. An uninsulated wire can instantaneously kill a person, just as quickly as it can toast bread, because it is governed by the law of its function and nothing else. Humanity is on the path of self-discovery, and it is our responsibility to discover the meaning of the universe around us. We will experience suffering as long as we fail to achieve this goal. A child will experience anguish if he is scratched by a cat until he realizes the importance of not pulling the cat's tail. The law may seem brutal to those who are not familiar with it, causing them to act against it, thus generating distress. We are owners of all laws until we fully comprehend them, and then they become amenable to our service. If one becomes immersed in detrimental thoughts, they will draw adverse physical outcomes. The law of the mind that results in illness can also bring about healing. Illness is not a punishment for wrongdoing, but rather an outcome of misconstruing and misapplying the law of the mind. The relationship between God and humanity is devoid of personal considerations regarding condemnation or penalty. Therefore, the belief that divinity is merciless and imposes disease as a form of punishment is an erroneous assertion. The principles of spiritual healing have become widely known and accepted. Understanding of the factors that contribute to success or failure in individual cases has also increased. What was once a form of worship has evolved into a scientific discipline, driven by positive outcomes and a growing recognition of the role that mental and spiritual factors play in causing illness. This shift has moved the focus of healing from the physical realm to the mental and spiritual planes. Achieving this remarkable progress was no easy feat. We've evolved from the obscure beginnings of understanding disease to the accuracy we have today. It's become clear that physical ailments are reflections of our mental states and can be altered by transforming out thought processes without reliance on material solutions. When we come to the realization that there exists a single universal mind that is eternally characterized by qualities such as peace, tranquility, strength, love, faith, harmony, expansion, health, and perfection, our objective becomes clear: to bring the individual mind into a state of unity with this universal mind. Since the universal mind is unconditionally free from any hostile influences and recognizes only itself, our own mind, being an inseparable part of this larger whole, cannot experience anything that the universal mind does not itself experience. In conclusion, the mind-body connection is a fundamental truth that has been recognized for centuries. Our mental states have the power to affect our physical health, and this connection must be acknowledged in order to achieve true healing. Our thoughts and emotions have a direct impact on the cells in our body, and a shift in our mental state is always accompanied by a corresponding change in the body. Disease is essentially a distorted idea that has taken root and gained dominance, and its management and control must be approached from a mental perspective. By consciously aligning ourselves with the universal intelligence and embracing positive health-oriented thoughts, we can cultivate a state of optimal health within our bodies. The power to transform our lives lies within us, and by understanding and harnessing the mind-body connection, we can create a life of health, happiness, and abundance. If you enjoyed it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to stay informed about new updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.